Blessings, blessings. Welcome back to another astrological analysis. Right now it is 4:39 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Saturn Day, February the 8th. And just going to be looking at this weekend, Super Bowl weekend. Um, Not going to be too long, just going to be a little brief analysis. And before I get started, if you will, if you like this channel and you want to see it grow, hit the like button, hit the follow, the subscribe button. And if you want to help the algorithm, leave a comment and share. Okay. So with these readings, with this analysis, I hope nothing happens, especially if it's bad. If the chart is showing something that's bad, I hope nothing happens. Okay. So although if I say something, let's just hope that everything I say is wrong. Okay, as always. So Super Bowl, we can see the numbers 13, 4, 5, 5. Okay. The ordinal is 5. Kendrick Lamar, the performer for the Super Bowl, I think he was chosen because of his numbers. A lot of 3, 6, 9s here. Okay. Um, then we have New Orleans. A lot of 3, 6, 9s here. Superdome, I believe that's where they're playing. This this concerns me because of the eights, and eight is connected to, unaliving somebody. Um, okay. I mean, I heard Donald Trump is going to be in attendance, right? Okay. Um, so we can see the numbers. 3, 6, 9s, got a one here. Um, So we can see the theme. We can see the theme that they're going with. I believe the latitude and longitude for this Superdome is going to be 2990, 29 north, 90 west. Okay. So looking at the chart for the United States, we have Jupiter's going to be going direct, or Jupiter is direct, so that's great. Jupiter's going direct, that's great. So we don't really have to worry about that. We have Saturn that's going to be squaring the ascendant, and Saturn that's going to be squaring Uranus and Aries, or Mars here. So what this could bring about is fourth house has to do with like securities, right? And Saturn is not only going to be squaring those two energies, but Saturn is going to be right up on opposing Lilith, opposing Neptune. And the reason why that is important is because Neptune is at the 22nd degree. Now, this is a very public house here. Things that happen here, they happen in public. Okay. And this situation particularly is, the way it's painted out here, it can be connected to like a sporting event, right? Neptune's connected to Hollywood at the 22nd degree. It just enhances that publicity of it. Virgo serving to others like sports does. You look at the ruler, the Lord for the 10th, it's right here in the 8th at the 24th degree, which is going to be conjunct Mars at the 18th degree. Now, the 18th degree, based upon the research of Nicholas Stojanovic, the late astrologer, rest his soul, he came up, and the side note, I sound very tranquil right now because the moon is in Cancer. I'm feeling very lackadaisical, so go with it. All right. So, the 18th degree is just connected to chaos, disaster, incurable diseases, that sort of those sort of themes. Okay. So eighth house connected to death, Cancer connected to securities. Hmm. The other thing here is Saturn squaring Mars at a foreign degree, the 21st degree, in a house of open enemies. And you got Uranus at the eighth degree, the degree of death, in the house of open enemies. And this naturally, look at what this does. This naturally opposes the ascendant, Sagittarius, foreign energy. Now the other dangerous thing here, well, we'll get to that in a second. We'll get to that in a second. Well, let's just get to it right now. So looking at looking at it right now, this is Donald Trump's chart. And I heard he's going to be in attendance. I'm not sure. But if you look at his let's look at his, critical degree. So he has the 22nd degree here. He has the eighth degree in his 12th house. Okay. Now the eighth degree, now you have Mercury in a moon deacon, and the moon is going to be in Cancer. In Cancer, the moon's going to be at the seventh degree. It's probably going to move over to the eighth degree that day. So the moon at the eighth degree is going to be right over Mercury at the eighth degree in a moon deacon. And this is the house of hidden enemies. And you're going to have Mars in the house of hidden enemies. And guess what Mars is going to be doing over there? Uh-oh, it's going to be conjunct Mercury at the unaliving degree, at the death degree. So this will be an optimal time of Donald Trump is going to weaken his defenses and be in an open area like the Super Bowl for his enemies to, impose that restriction because you got Saturn in his 12th house of open enemies, right? And the reason why it would be an opportune time because you have Saturn at the 23rd degree, which is connected to gatherings like the Super Bowl. So restricting somebody at the Super Bowl for their open enemies, right? Connected to Venus at the 25th degree, that Mars degree. And when you have Venus at a degree like this, it brings it out that side of Venus, which is war. In a Neptune deacon, which is connected to death, which is connected to confusion. So if something were to happen, nobody would know who done it at first. Weakened security. Not saying anything's gonna happen, but boy oh boy, look at his son at the 22nd degree. You're gonna have Saturn and Neptune squaring that bad boy. And guess what? Saturn's going to be at the 18th degree and is going to be in his house of death. 18th degree, natural disasters, squaring his sun, 22nd degree, and squaring his north node, which is the note of fate, like fated moments, right? The only thing that's concerning here is that Gemini's is usually symbolized as somebody that's like close to you in your close circle, somebody that's really close to you. Because it's Gemini has to do with the side of the chart that's like very personal, you know. What else do I see anything else in Donald Trump's chart? Just trying to keep this short and brief, not trying to get too wordy. Um, gonna have Mercury at the highest Scorpio degree. And I'm working on a theory with the 20th degree, seeing if it's connected to death, and I believe it might be so. Oh, damn. See, that's the other thing about this with Donald Trump is that you're going to have his Mars in the 12th house of hidden enemies is going to be opposing his vertex at the 22nd degree. And the sixth house is the house of bad omens. You have Capricorn here, you know, public, like everybody would see if something were to happen, a very public space, you know, and mm, yeah, you're going to have the moon here that's going to be opposing the vertex, and the moon's going to be conjunct Mercury here at the eighth degree. So, I mean, again, I don't think anything's going to happen, but usually when you start to have buildups like this, if you get like five or six indications, it could be a checkmate. Um, but I mean, hopefully Donald Trump has a astrologer on board, you know. Although people always joke and say like, "Oh, death to this person." I don't wish death upon anybody, unless it's in their, soul journey, if that's when it's their time to go. Um, Anything else with Donald Trump's chart? Yeah, I mean the sun's gonna be at the 20th degree as well, the Scorpio degree. And then you have the chart for New Orleans. Mm. With the chart for New Orleans, you're going to have Saturn that is going to be squaring the ascendant, right? And so that is concerning because, you know, with the degree here, the eighth degree, I mean, it could bring about, a chaotic situation, you know. Now, with Gemini being dominating, the, common denominator here, the dominating factor, it could very well be connected to like some type of, explosive device in an automobile, you know. Um, I honestly thought if the inauguration was outside, that kind of thing was going to take place. But they switched the inauguration. I heard at the last moment, or they switched the inauguration, and they switched the where Donald Trump is going to do a speech just like the last second. So they've been, kind of switching things up. Maybe for security, I'm not sure. But to take somebody to the president to the Super Bowl out in the open, unless he's going to be in a box, that's not smart. But the only thing I see here, besides the ascendant being squared by Saturn, um, oh Lord, it's going to be Mars squaring Pallas at the 22nd degree. Now, this is important because Aries is here and Pallas at the 22nd degree is in a Jupiter decan. So this would be like, a foreign entity, watching the moves of somebody at a sporting event and using some type of, if it was like explosion, if it was some type of weapon, some type of hostility, depending on how Mars was feeling, then it would be connected to, a vehicle because Mars here is at the 15th degree and Chiron is going to be hovering right above the situation. Okay. All right. Um, Let me see if I see anything else before. This eerily feels like some type of calm before a storm. It's so quiet today. Like too quiet. Like way too quiet. You also have Mars here at the 18th degree that's going to be squaring Mars here, which is going to be conjunct Pallas. So, um, oh Lord, I don't know why I just exit out that thing. Okay. Um, let's- Let me just pause just so I don't have a long silence here. I'm gonna see if I see anything else before I get out of here. So the other thing I want to touch on again, I don't think anything's gonna happen, but you have Mars that is um it's going to be squaring Jupiter, it's going to be squaring Chiron, and it's going to be squaring Juno. So, I mean, this just could bring about like a betrayal in your inner circle, like a moment where your ego was squashed because Jupiter is naturally retrograding here. So when Jupiter is retrograding, it's more so like it could be at times pessimistic versus like optimistic, depending on the situation. Since it's in a third house, it's more so like it has a lot to do with your ego and like your speech and how you talk to others and treat other people in relationships and that type of stuff we don't want to get into. But Mars is going to be kind of like blocking this energy. So in certain cases where Jupiter would save you, uh, in some type of interpersonal relationship he has, this could be like a betrayal moment, especially since Mars is going to be in this house of hidden enemies and the connections Mars is going to have. Okay. So if I was Donald Trump, I would make sure my astrologer gave me the okay to go. Um, I'm not seeing any besides things that I said that are concerning. I'm not seeing any other, like major squares to his son for that day. Just got Saturn, you got Neptune. So, and these are both taking place in his house of death. So, I mean, that in itself is concerning, but um, and with it being so close to the North Node, uh, with it being so close to the North Node, and then not only that, but the Saturn squaring the let me see some. Okay, that's good. Saturn squaring his natal North Node, you know. So anyway, um, that's all I got for today. That's all I have. Um, let's hope that it's a peaceful weekend. Nothing happens. The Philadelphia Eagles take the win. Let me see if I can make up a score. Let me see if I can give you a made up score. Hold up. Okay, I'll say Philadelphia Eagles, the score would be somewhere between 33 to 35, 36. Kansas City Chiefs, the score would be somewhere between 17, 19. So Philadelphia Eagles, somewhere between 33 to 35, 36. So 33, 36. Kansas City Chiefs, score between, what I say, 15 and 19, 17 and 19. Um, but yeah, man, that's the Super Bowl. I'm not sure if I'm even gonna watch the Super Bowl, but I watched the highlights and the oh my God, those type of moments. But let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. I appreciate you all tuning in for another astrological analysis. If you like this video, be sure to like, share, follow. Not only follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Patreon, Tumblr, everywhere. But subscribe here on YouTube where you're watching this video. All right. Much love, y'all. Peace out.